Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is of the NECA Fugitive Predator Lab Escape Edition. So let's get started. Everyone knows I've had a recent love with the NECA Alien and Predator stuff, and I gotta say, it's honestly been a ton of fun. And I'm noticing that NECA likes to capitalize on my fun. So I'm okay with that, especially when they're gonna keep pumping out really good product like this. So I'm excited to bring you the Fugitive Lab Predator Edition. And I gotta say, because I got Fugitive Predator, I'm actually really excited for this one because this one, I believe, is the first one with LED eyes, and I am excited. But yeah, we'll get into that in a second. First and foremost, let's jump into articulation and let's see our happy camper move, right? So this one does not have the upper torso armor or the leg pieces of his armor. It's just the leg pieces, the waist, that's it. And then you'll get the helmet later when I attach that. But this is him, bare bones, getting down to the nitty gritty. You know, escaping the lab. And I like this look. As you see the netting here, it's a really good look for what would they look like under it. Since he's technically modified with human DNA, it's one of those things where it looks closer to a human in terms of this part. But it's fun. So real quick, let's go into articulation. The head can go up, it can go down, can go left and right. It has all that movement. The locks are free flowing, so you can actually move those around as you want. They don't hold, obviously. They're not like wired posts. The arms, because there's no armor in the way, can actually get a lot of range going up. And it, there's no hindrance of breaking. There's no worry about the joints. And that's something I constantly worry about with the NECA stuff because there's so much armor plating in the way. There is no bicep swivel, but the arm can rotate. And you have a forearm swivel, though, down here. So you actually get the rotation there. The arms are double jointed. They can rotate all the way in. He can actually touch his waist and do the Macarena if you wanted to. If not, you can totally pass on that too. That's totally fine. The hand has a Figma-like joint, so it rotates up and down and swivels around while in the peg. So this is one of those things where, depending on how you go about it with the arms, you can actually get a lot of nice motion. And it's actually a two-part swivel. So you can actually swivel at the upward part and you can swivel down here as well. So I forgot to mention that, and I apologize. Now, as far as the upper torso goes, you actually get a ton of range now that you are not in the way of armor. So if you wanted to do a really cool predator pose with the legs being how they are, so they fold all the way up and they can rotate out, and they are indeed double jointed. The ankle pivot, not so much, not as generous, so you have to be a little careful there. And there is a swivel here, so you can rotate as well. Now, let's say you wanted to get that classic predator pose where, you're yelling out and, or not even yelling, but you want to do the Yaga pose where it's like, square up basically. You can actually achieve that very quickly here with this pose. You can actually hunch down pretty good, rotate the head up. Or if you wanted to do a running lunging pose, let's rotate this leg in. Let's do the arm forward. And we're actually going to rotate this arm back because if you're lunging, there we go. So now, depending on your angle and how you look at it, this lunging is actually really, really nice. You could be diving down, you could be lunging up, you could be lunging at your opponent, or you could even be running. So now let's modify this to make it look like he's running. And voila, now he's running. So you can actually have a lot of great poses out of this guy almost instantly and really good. So even if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to smack your opponent or choke them up or grab them with the swift movement, this is actually done really well like this. So the articulation on this is actually a lot more fun than I've had with previous Predators and even the previous version of Fugitive. So this is actually really nice. If you balance it just right, voila, you can get a nice pose. Now, let's stand this guy straight up, and we're going to talk about some of the things that he comes with. Some of the coolest things I've seen him come with, Predator-wise, where they keep it really simple with him. And the coolest thing they've given him, and I'm going to jump into that first, is this really cool LED helmet. Now, this one is painted better. It looks better. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, there's going to be a small tab there that you're going to basically pull out of here in this area. Obviously can't do it again. And right here where you see the laser sight, you're going to push that in and then you get lighted up eyes. This looks fantastic and it makes me want to buy another one almost instantly because it is a nice bright vibrant red. So you can see it really well through the head. Let's cut these back on. And these can just, pop right on the head like a normal head. So there's no real difference in trying to do it on, is it a different head? Is it a different peg? It is all the same peg. So if you wanted to put it on the previous Fugitive, which is the armored version, you can. Now, let me just pop this on. Whoop. And I don't have it all the way down in the peg, so excuse me for that, because I want to just show you guys how it looks with it. Actually, no, I want to put it all the way down, because I'm going to have to do it on camera, off camera, because it actually takes a lot of force to do that. So, let's show him real quick with it on. And yeah, he looks absolutely stunning here. He looks great. It's a good look for him. Now, when you compare it to previous Fugitive, and even Emissary 1, which I'm going to show you in a second, the glowing eyes actually just really cuts it for me, and it makes me want to get 3 of them just so I can have glowing eyes for everybody. It looks really fantastic. It just sets the mood and the tone for a Predator, doing that. Now, let's put Emissary away. And now let's talk about this guy compared to his armored version. Ooh. So, and I think I just popped my LED and broke the head. Hopefully I did not do that, because this part just came off at the top, and I'm hoping that's not the case, but it plugs right back in, so it doesn't seem too much of an issue. So I have to keep that in mind for myself when I'm taking off the head to pull from the bottom base. Now, real quick though, we're going to plug this head on the actual Fugitive. The Ultimate Fugitive. So we can see how it looks on him. Yeah, this is perfect. It's a really great look. This actually makes it the perfect Fugitive now. Now, also one thing, if you have the screaming head from your previous Fugitive, which is, you can pop this right on this, and now you can have the open mandible one. And the pegs do match up. As you can see here, it's a little bit of a struggle to get it in there. The paints don't necessarily match all the way, because this one is a nice, fresher new paint. But it's good enough so that way if you do it in photos, this actually works out really, really well. So keep that in mind if you want to do that. It actually works really well. You just got to be careful with the glossiness. This is all gloss. This is more matte. Now let's cut you off. Let's pop the normal head back on. And then we're going to talk about the rest of his accessories. Because getting into that helmet actually, I got a little off topic, so I apologize for that. But this is actually really, really fun. These new Predators has just been more and more fun. And the Kenner stuff has just been really great. It's a lot of fun to play with. Now you also get a more of a display version of the mask, which shows it damaged. Oop. As you saw in the movie, or if a cutscene, I can't remember honestly. But this is the damaged version of the mask. It even has the inside of it, kind of shows you the inside. So if you want to paint this up, make it look really cool, you totally can. You have the Yaga Weapon. And I forgot the name of this, honestly. I just had it in my head and I forgot. There is a dedicated hand for this. You can actually hold it in between the index and the thumb finger if you want. So, depending on how you want to hold it. Like if you want to throw it. Voila. This hand also holds the machine gun that he comes with. So, let's rotate that around. I don't feel like putting the hand on, but yeah. I want to make sure you see it first. There we go. So what you do is, you got to be careful when opening up the base fingers. Rotate down and spill around. And it didn't lock into the finger, but you get the drift of what I'm doing. Then you get 2 more closed fists. Now I know that doesn't seem like much, but it's really nice to get for a figure with an LED thing. It's really nice to have LED features. And for 30 bucks and all this articulation, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So it's one of those nice things we kind of jump into and we enjoy. Especially because when Predator movies are bad, you can pretty much enjoy the comic or the toys at least. It gives you some nice supplement. Now we're going to jump into the size comparisons. First things first, you already saw him with Emissary. You already saw him with Fugitive. But now you got to see him with the Armored Assassin, aka Ultimate Predator. So here these two guys are size-wise. And as you can see, this guy doesn't even fit completely on my screen. It's just him. And I want to hold him up so that way he can hold up. Because I don't feel like adjusting those feet. Oh, what? Don't even have to do it. Did it on his own. So, yeah, as you can see, that guy is gigantic. And he fell backwards. But yeah. Now, real quick, let's compare him to other... Oh, actually, before I go tripping, Here he is next to an alien. This is an arachnoid alien from the Kenner stuff of the arcade AVP. But an alien is still an alien, and you gotta just say no to bugs, right? Here is the alien standing at full height. This is him taller than him. So this would be real cool with these guys fighting each other. I might actually make that happen, hopefully in the photos. Here he is next to a Mezco Punisher, which seemed like the type of guy who would team up with him and Punisher and maybe a War Machine. So this is him next to a comic book War Machine, and I think these three are definitely a good team for each other. This War Machine is actually a much larger one, because when you compare him to an SHF or a much smaller Marvel Legend, as you can see, there is a height difference. So yeah, let's put these guys off to the side for a second. Here he is next to a Storm Collectibles Reptile, who's pretty much going to size him up, because he's for once the tiny guy, right? Here he is next to a SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Cougar, who is also going to size him up, because again, tiny guys, right? Next up, we have a Revolve Tech Ironman. We have a Hasbro Lightning Collection White Ranger. All right. Oop. I don't know why you never stand up properly. I don't know what that's about. As you can see, tiny guys. All compared to the Predator. Here he is next up with an Articulated Icons Ninja. A 1000 Toy Synthetic Human. And, what have I not done? Oh, here he is next to a Mafex Deadpool. Let's just throw him in there. So size-wise, we know what we're getting into. The NECA stuff is actually much larger, but I think the Predators are already supposed to be larger. They stand anywhere between 7 and 11 feet. So this actually works out really well in terms of scale. These guys are supposed to be gigantic, and it works out. These are really dope figures. You get the bang for your buck. With the new LED feature, I hope it's something that they continue to do going forward. And mixing and matching my Predator stuff has been honestly a ton of fun. So hopefully you guys can do that too. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it informative. But most of all, hope you do good, be good. Drink your water, guys. Later.